This review covers the '99 Mustang SVT Cobra. It's a 125 scale monogram kit number 4014. It's a skill level 4, and this version was released in 2022. Now, the Ford Mustang was totally revised in 1994, but in '99, the SVT group gave it an independent rear suspension and tuned the 4.6-liter V8 to produce 320 horsepower. Now, Ford sold about 4,000 units each of the hardtop and the convertible at an average price of about $30,000. Now, this kit, based on the '94 released one, has many reissues over the years, and this out-of-production version, like I said, was released in 2022, but it's still readily available at online sites. It features 107 parts molded in white, red, and clear resin, with chrome details, a full V8 engine, detailed rear suspension, and a separate rear spoiler, as well as factory stock decals and soft black tires. When you're done, the kit measures about 7.5 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 2 1/8 inches high. Here are the parts for the kit, and it's a single-purpose build kit, but there are some extra parts in here that belong to other versions which won't be used. Now, the parts all fit together well, but this is an old mold design, so the usual suspects will be there to deal with. You've got, parting line, ejector pin marks, some sprue attachment points, occasionally a sink, so be prepared to deal with those. But you'll also note that the window glass is pretty clear, although it's thicker than the modern stuff, and the chrome is nice. It's not too toy-like. Here are the decals for the kit. The colors are nice and the register is very good. You get some plates, some body emblems, the dash panel there, instrument panel, and also some stickers for the the engine bay area. Construction starts with the engine, and as you can see here, most of the parts have been painted aluminum. There's a few satin black pieces there that will add color and are made of different materials too. So go ahead and assemble the block and the rest of the parts you see here. Now gather up the parts for the rest of the engine assembly. You see the belts are flat black and the pulleys are semi-gloss, a couple of other accessory items, and the exhausts, which are painted steel color. You've got a white oil filter as well. And as you can see, it builds up into a fairly detailed motor and transmission assembly. Now, this is no slouch for a V8 engine. It's a pretty good size. You can see just from the size of the heads and the valve covers, it could hold its own in a start from the starting line. So there's photos of both the left and the right sides, so you can see how it goes together. Speaking of which, just as a reminder, the instructions are at the back, and they've been segmented so they're easy to read if you need more clarification on locations and parts, etc. And now we'll work with the interior, which in this case includes the inner fender walls of the engine bay. And so those will be painted body color along with a portion of the firewall there. And we're going to spray the basic semi-gloss black for this unit. Additionally, we'll paint the seats after they're assembled. The fronts and backs have to be put together, and then address that seam, and again paint that satin black along with the dashboard instrument panel, and the instrument gauge cluster is supplied by a decal that comes out of the kit there too. Now it's time to detail the rear end suspension. As you can see, it's nicely detailed. You've got some steel rotors and black calipers. There's also aluminum parts in the pumpkin there and axles, and we're going to paint the boots flat black. The other pieces are semi-gloss black here and are added to the rear suspension. You also see the control arms come into play at this point, and altogether, once she's assembled, it's a really nice looking and highly detailed independent suspension, which the Ford company was proud of at the time as well. Now we can finish off that rear end along with the coil springs and shocks. Those are black, and you got steel colored drive shaft there, and we'll install those next. Just look for the locating points and use some good strong glue. Make sure that it's fully seated so that everything is lined up. With the rear suspension glued into place, don't forget to insert the axle into the rear end there, the pumpkin, and then go ahead and locate it into the back of the transmission, and then lower your engine down onto the engine mounts. By the way, make sure you scrape paint or chrome off of any parts you want to glue together so that they'll stick properly. And so here's a look at the vehicle from the lower end. The exhaust has been put into place. It fits right in. Hook up those exhaust mufflers and pipes to the engine exhaust, and then go ahead and glue those into position. They are steel colored, as well as having some chrome tips. And you can see some body spray there, as was quite common, and also the rest of the engine bay, which is body color as well. When the engine is in position, we can go ahead and add that interior tub. Just locate where the contact points are and use some strong glue, either super glue or epoxy, to make sure that it stays in place, and also make sure that it's flush so that it sits right down onto the floor pan. You can also take a look here at the interior, and it's pretty nice looking interior, although the rear seats are molded into the back, but still the side panels are separate so they can be detailed too. The front suspension you see here gets decorated with some body color in the center. Of course, A-arms there, control arms are flat black along with the coils. And you see the center drag link there is aluminum with steel tie rods and some flat black boots. Continue with construction on the front end by adding the sway bar and the shocks. You see them here in satin black. Locate the parts for the cooling system, the radiator, the surround, the fan, and the hoses, and paint those flat black and let them dry. Get out the wheel assembly parts here. The tires are solid vinyl with good tread detail, but no sidewall script. And it's mentioned in the instructions about some lettering, but they're smooth on this issue. Now the wheels should be painted aluminum, as the Cobra Mustang did not come with chrome wheels. They were available in the aftermarket, but not an OEM item. With the wheels, along with the rotors and the calipers, which are painted black, the rotors are steel. We're going to add the intake. You see some satin black there along with aluminum for the main Cobra intake, and we're going to be adding that along with the cooling system parts to the engine bay. And so here you see all the parts in place that we just pre-finished, and also notice that there are some decals that go onto the engine bay as well, including those nice valve cover decals for the V8. And now it's time to work on the body, and as you probably already know, this was a real nice styling change for Ford. But on the model here, you see the red line towards the bumper. Now that's the parting line. Now that actually extends up along. Now also note that if you're going to use decals for the body emblems, they're marked out in red in the front and the back. You see the badge there just in front of the doors on the left front fender. They should be, removed. Sand them off smooth so that the decals aren't impeded by their relief. So after cleaning those parting lines up, light coat of primer, the body has been painted with a dark red. It's called, or a bright red. It's called One Shot Brand 104L. But we'll be also showing you some equivalent brands in the description below. Also note that the windows have had the surrounds painted, and those were just hand painted carefully. And we're going to stage the rest of these parts for assembly to the body. At the back end here, we're going to apply the license plate. You can just cut that out and put it on with some white glue. And also, there's some detailing on the back lower valence. The taillights, of course, have been segmented with some black, and the lenses themselves painted appropriately. So here you see the rear wing and the hood have been painted in body color. The mirrors are gloss black with some chrome applied to the face. And we've got the wipers ready to go. The headlight, lenses there have been surrounded. They've got a black surround, just like the windows. So we'll put these together and add them to the kit. And now it's time to add the chassis to the body, and just turn it over and drop it in. It goes in pretty nicely. Spread those lower rockers out a little ways, and she should drop right in and Place a little glue there before you do that to ensure that it stays into position. At that time, it's probably a good opportunity to go ahead and add the wheels into position. But some cars, you'll find that you need to put them in first. So generally, that's a good policy. Add those wheels to the spindles and then go ahead and then mount your chassis and body together. Here are the parts that I had left, all of them belonging to previous versions and kit offerings. Well, there you have it. This beautiful little model is done, and she's snappy looking in that bright red. Now, I only found one thing odd about the model. The grill lattice, there isn't one, and the Mustang emblem goes in the middle, so I used a little piece of styrene to mount that behind the grill opening. Although the rest of the kit is just a beautiful kit. Everything fits, goes together well. There's no real surprises. And there are, however, some small parts, and the decals, which make it more suitable for an intermediate builder. But other than that, this is a beautiful kit that you'll be happy. And if I were you, I would buy one and put it on my shelf.
Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet.
This review is brought to you in part by Ryder's Hobby Shops, where the fun begins. Stop in to one of Ryder's 2 convenient Michigan locations, where you'll find a full range of the latest hobby products, supplies, parts, tools, and paint. You'll find aisles and aisles of scale model kits, RC models, model rockets, Warhammer gaming, and railroading products. Stop in at Ryder's today and tell them Doug sent you.